Namaste. So, just as we spoke about two stages of sadhana, one is in the darkness and then in the light. Similarly, when we step into the light and we start moving towards the source of light, in darkness also we are moving toward the light, but we don't know that. But conscious yoga means now we know, we catch a trail of the ray and want to climb to the sun, to put it mystically. There also there are two stages of growth. One is when sadhana is intense and concentrated. Generally, this is the first stage, and it should be logically, where one lives within, concentrated in the heart, ma going on, completely oblivious of what's happening outside, practicing, stepping back, witnessing the world as a passing dream, as things of transient, temporary satisfactions which cannot fill the spirit's secret thirst. This goes on and should go on till one has arrived at least at some rending of the veil. Then comes the next stage, and that's when the consciousness begins to expand into the universal consciousness, cosmic consciousness. So there is suddenly you enter into more and more work because your consciousness is expanding. As it expands, it begins to take others into their own it's no more like mine versus yours. It's like this container. So this container breaks and then the water begins to flow all around. So there is a expansion of consciousness, and then all the set pattern and routine. It's very good to fix routine initially. I'll sit at this time and do meditation. I'll sit at this time and do. This helps to discipline the consciousness, train us. But a time comes when this pattern goes away. So how does one operate during that time? So we have this example of Bhaiji. There are many other people of Navjatji. He's sitting and he knows somebody is going to come. So like I have to meet, everything becomes yoga. You're meeting someone becomes yoga. You are interacting with people becomes yoga. Your relationships become yoga. Your food becomes yoga. The experience of life becomes yoga. That's the second stage, the stage of expansion. So this prayer, April 2nd, 1914, every day when I want to write, I am interrupted. As though the new period opening now before us were a period of expansion rather than of concentration. See, the mother before she meets Sri Aurobindo, all that intense concentration, even Tagore wanted her to take over Shantiniketan, she refused. Abdul Baha wanted her to take over the Baha'i mission, she refused. So much she could have done even then. She was already writing for, Theon's philosophical review, cosmic philosophy. But it was more inwardness with which she was experiencing already all the wonderful experiences which we can't even utter, that she was living in. But when she comes to ashram, we see in the mother's life these two periods. Here, of course, she had to go back. But the moment she came, she is the divine mother. See, things started straight away, within 9 months before she had left. February 22nd, 1915, she started three things. One is the Arya, which today, thanks to that, so much is... she drew out Sri Aurobindo, like Parvati drew out Shiva from his trance and said, we have to give birth to Kartikeya, who will destroy Tarakasur. So, when the mother came, she brought out Sri Aurobindo from his seclusion. She writes at one place, you see Sri Aurobindo's picture. When she met Sri Aurobindo, how did Sri Aurobindo look? So she said, this is the time when he's coming out of his ascetic phase. Look at him, he looks like a yogi who is completely, world is beyond everything. And she brings him out, and what is born as a result of this meeting? A new world begins to take shape in the conceptual thought of man. Now truth constructions must come. So Arya becomes a truth construction. It is a construction, but you see why it is a truth construction? It is infinite and it is plastic. You can't make a dogmatic religion out of it. That's why it's a truth construction. You can't limit it to a sectarian approach. You can't make a cult out of it. It is so vast. Read through Sri Aurobindo's works, it is like that. You can't reduce it to a... So that is the sign, it's a truth construction. It's very plastic. Sri Aurobindo gives us all the inner details, but doesn't fix that this time you must sit, this time you must do this kind of meditation, you must do that. None of those things. People start looking, give us some prescriptions. What should I do when I wake up? Which mantra I should follow for? Nothing. He just says, find your soul, go deeper into your soul. Sir, that's okay, but what do I do? Have the inner seeking. Sir, that's okay, but what should I do? Aspire, aspire, aspire. Sir, tell us a method. He is too gentlemanly. He will not say, read the Arya, aspiration will wake up within you. That he won't say. But see how the mother, this first thing. Then second, truth must not be only on the conceptual plane, it must start realizing. So she formed the honesty society, the business. In business world is one of the most difficult world, challenging. There she started. Straight away, Divine Mother. Third, it is not just individual realization, it must have a collective dimension and it should progress endlessly. So she formed the new idea, the group, first group. Then, of course, all these forces must have thought, my God, Divine Mother has started already creating. How can it be? So they stooped upon the world and we had the First World War. She had to go back and all this. When she came, she had seen that this way it doesn't work because the world cries up in revolt. So she started on a different ground. For first few years, she would not come out. Only by a gesture she will indicate. Like people used to sit with Sri Aurobindo sitting here, everybody would sit like that. Mother would sit on the floor to teach people what it means to sit before the Master. She would teach by her own life's example, cleaning all the house. And ye to sab Babu Sahab the, cleaning the house, room with her own herself, brooming, cleaning. All this she showed what it means to really do yoga, but yet with tremendous humility. Amrita recount that they would sit together and he would read yoga and its objects and mother would be studying with him. She says, if somebody looked at us, he would not wonder. She became like us, tremendous humility. So she started teaching. But one day she came out. Then we see the expansion period. And that expansion till date, this expansion will not cease till every grain of dust is turned into the golden grain of perfection. So this is the expansion. So she describes, every day when I want to write, I am interrupted as though the new period opening now before us were a period of expansion rather than of concentration. So what does it mean? It is in the activity of each moment that we must serve Thee and identify ourselves with Thee, rather than in deep and silent contemplation or in meditation, written or unwritten. So when someone complained to a sadhak who was doing this carpentry work, so sound was coming, sadhak's meditation was disturbed. And he asked this man to stop making this sound. This work was given by the mother. Now what to do? Dilemma. So the sadhak went to mother, people are disturbed in their meditation because of this. What should I do? She says, you continue with the work. He doesn't know how to meditate. So every activity, somebody comes and meets you, unexpected things, they are the moments through which activity, through which yoga means every movement, one is turning from an egoistic to the to receive the touch of divinity. Every movement. There are so many countless movements throughout the day. And then we understand what it means in the Ishopanishad. Yat kincha jagatyam jagat. Each individual motion in the universe, universal motion, is meant for the Lord. For the divine to flow in every activity. It's first concentration. So let's not start entering into I'll do all kinds of work and everything, because first she goes through that phase of concentration, then the expansion, where in each activity we must serve thee and identify ourselves with thee. But my heart does not tire of singing a hymn to thee, and my thought is constantly filled to thee. So, time to time in between, we get those breathers. They are like windows opening to the infinite. What do we do during those moments? Lord, how beautiful. That's it. Sing a word just inwardly. What a joy, what a grace, what a wonder. It doesn't matter Hindi, English, Sanskrit, Odia, Bengali, whatever. Everything he knows, all languages. But just that sense of singing a hymn to thee, and my thought is constantly filled with thee. The thought should be filled with the divine. There is a beautiful message of the mother. How beautiful, simple, calm, luminous, and grand everything becomes when our thoughts turn to the divine. We could equally say, how miserable, depressing, tiring, exhausting, impoverished our life becomes when we turn it around ourselves. How beautiful, luminous, simple, grand, and calm life becomes when our thoughts turn toward the divine. But my heart does not tire of singing a hymn to thee. So heart is moving up, and the thoughts also. But my heart does not tire of singing a hymn to thee, and my thought is constantly filled with thee.